Everyone says trading is about patience, but almost nobody understands what that actually means. Patience isn't sitting at your desk doing nothing. Patience isn't hoping. Patience isn't forcing yourself not to click. Patience is control under boredom. And boredom is where most traders lose. Most traders trade like machine gunners. They fire at every flicker, every small breakout, every tiny pullback, every move that might turn into something. They feel productive. They feel active. They feel involved. But they are not precise. A sniper doesn't fire often. A sniper studies, waits, breathes, measures distance, accounts for wind, checks positioning, confirms the shot. And then one clean execution. Trading is no different. But here's the problem. Modern trading platforms are built to make you feel like you should always be doing something. Charts are moving, numbers are flashing, P and L is updating in real time. Your brain interprets motion as opportunity. And if you don't have a defined standard for what qualifies as a trade, you will start manufacturing reasons to participate. I learned this the hard way. Early in my trading, I thought frequency meant growth. If I took 12 trades in a day, I felt like I was grinding. If I only took 1 or 2, I felt like I was missing out. I remember one specific morning, market open. Volatility was high. I told myself, this is the day. By 11:30 a.m., I had already taken 5 trades, 2 small wins, 3 unnecessary losses. Nothing catastrophic, just sloppy. But the real damage wasn't the red P and L. It was the shift in my mindset. I stopped waiting for A-plus setups. I started anticipating movement instead of reacting to structure. I justified entries with, "It looks like it's going." By the end of the day, I wasn't trading a plan. I was chasing stimulation. And that's when it clicked for me. Impatience isn't aggression. It's insecurity. Now let's talk about fishing. If you've ever gone fishing, you know something important. You don't cast your line every 30 seconds. You don't reel in because you're bored. You don't jerk the rod because the water moved. You cast. You wait. You observe. You understand that the fish doesn't move because you're impatient. It moves when it moves. And your job isn't to force it. Your job is to be ready when it does. Trading is identical. The market does not reward activity. It rewards timing. The sniper mentality means you define exactly what your shot looks like. You know the structure. You know the confirmation. You know your risk. You know your exit. And if it doesn't meet that criteria, you do nothing. That's the part no one talks about. Doing nothing is a skill. Sitting in front of moving charts and choosing not to act is a skill. Most traders don't fail because they can't find setups. They fail because they can't sit still long enough for the right one to appear. Here's another moment that changed me. There was a week where I committed to one rule: maximum 2 trades per day. That's it. Not because the strategy required it, but because my psychology did. The first 2 days were uncomfortable. By midday, I felt restless. I caught myself scanning lower time frames, looking for extra setups. But by day 4, something shifted. I started ignoring noise automatically. I stopped reacting to every candle. My eyes filtered for quality instead of movement. And my win rate improved. Not because the market changed, but because my standards did. Patience creates clarity. Impatience creates distortion. When you're impatient, you see setups that aren't there. You justify size increases. You widen stops. You exit early. When you operate like a sniper, you accept that most of the day will not produce a shot. You understand that boredom is part of the profession. You detach your identity from activity. Now here's the practical part. How do you build sniper patience? Step 1. Define your A+ setup in writing, not in your head, on paper. What conditions must exist? What confirmations must be present? What invalidates the trade immediately? If you can't describe it clearly, you'll trade vaguely. Step 2. Reduce trade frequency intentionally. Force constraint. Cap your trades per day or per session. This trains selectivity. Step 3. Track trades avoided, not just trades taken. At the end of each session, ask, how many low-quality setups did I pass on? Reward yourself for restraint. Step 4. Delay execution by 10 seconds. When your setup appears, don't click instantly. Pause, breathe, reconfirm structure. If it's still valid after 10 seconds, it's likely real. Step 5. Detach from intraday P and L. Snipers don't measure success by bullets fired. They measure by precision. Your goal is not green every day. Your goal is controlled execution every day. Here's the truth most traders don't want to hear. If you cannot sit through boredom without forcing trades, you will never experience consistency. Because consistency isn't built on action. It's built on restraint. The best traders I've observed are not hyper. They are not frantic. They are not glued to every tick. They are calm. They are selective. They wait longer than everyone else. And when they act, it looks obvious. But it only looks obvious because they ignored 90% of what you reacted to. If you feel like you're always almost profitable, if you feel like you're one tweak away, if you feel exhausted by the end of every session, you probably don't need a new strategy. You need a tighter trigger finger. Trade like a sniper, wait like a fisherman, execute like a professional, and accept that most of your job is patience. If this video made you pause and think differently about your trading, do 2 things. First, hit the like button, not because it boosts the algorithm, but because it reinforces the lesson. It's a small act of commitment, a signal to yourself that you value discipline over impulse. Second, leave a comment and tell me this. Are you more of a machine gun trader or a sniper? Be honest. There's no growth without awareness. I read every comment. And the more we talk openly about the psychological side of this game, the sharper we all get. If you're serious about building real discipline, not just chasing dopamine, subscribe to the channel. I don't post hype. I don't post signals. I break down the mental edge that actually keeps traders alive long enough to become consistent. And I want to see you succeed.